Good morning, good morning. So today we're gonna make the push for level 32. We've got a little over 30% EXP to get there. And then we might go work on a Karen toy for a little bit. One thing I really have been enjoying about Unrest, besides the fact that I can nuke anything I want, is the plat. I'm making a ton of plat, selling all the fine steel and bronze and stuff that drops here. It's definitely making a big difference. And now we just gotta find a place where we can camp the basement. So we're stuck in this pit for a couple minutes now. We'll go check one of the upper floors. Well, look at that. Harm touch isn't bad, only 182. It's pretty good for us to find this. The shoulders aren't lore, so if we find one, we can still vendor it. Also, it just means we won't have any downtime while we're waiting for our new pick timer. I'm in a weird position now where, like, if I go below 70% HP, for efficiency purposes, it doesn't matter what happens from there. As long as I don't die, of course. Because I'm going to regen almost full mana while I'm binding all the way up to 70. Hey, what's going on, Liak? How are you doing this morning? Oh, that sounds terrible. What two guilds are fighting over Brother Z? Huh. What up, what up? How's it going, Das Boot? You'll have to let us know who wins, Liak. So I was using Soothe for a while, like, you know, ever since I got it. But most of the mobs here just don't demand Soothe, and it's kind of mana inefficient for me. So I started lulling again. Save myself some mana. Likewise, I dropped Spirit Armor and went down to Holy Armor, because Spirit Armor is a big chunk of my mana. And it's only like 5 more AC. Ooh, yikes, for Rampage. Hasten's not too rare, right? Usually you'll find him after like an hour or two of camping, if you're uninterrupted. Yep, Despot, I was. Hey, good morning, Rect. Yeah, so there's the entrance undead mobs in Lower Guck range from like 27 to 30. At first we found a 27er, we killed him. He didn't drop him. And then a level 31 jumped us while we were medding because I wasn't paying attention, and he dropped him. Though it was a pretty close fight. But yeah, we basically only killed 2 mobs in Lower Guck. Came back over here. Our gear is starting to really shape up. By the way, we have the new chat command, !gear. You can get a link to my raid loot profile, so you can examine all my gear whenever you'd like. I almost want to go to Erud's Crossing and camp the Erudite Madman, because then I'll get an opportunity to get the magic resist earring, but it's like he's a rare spawn and he's got like 5 items he can drop. It just seems like it would take a long time to get a whopping 3 magic resists and lose 1 AC. Yeah, Despot, we're just trying to get some EXP right now. We might do a Karen Toy later, but for now, the primary goal is hitting level 32, and it's going pretty fast. EXP here is really good. I actually think that before we leave, like at level 36, before we leave Unrest for good, I can kill Garanel Ruxif and camp 2 Jagged Bands and maybe some Dwarven Work Boots. I think Dwarven Work Boots are like 8 AC, so the stats on it might be worth a 2 AC loss. We'll have to see. Yeah, that could be worthwhile, especially the decks when we swap to a Ghoulbane and the proc becomes a big part of our DPS potential. Dude, you know what item I wish we still had in game? The Boots of Brawn. I don't know why they were taken out. Hey Knots, I don't really have a scientific way to determine it, to be honest. It's just my feels math. Like 3 strength is nice, 2 AC is not a whole lot of AC, you know what I mean? Like I had a thick banded belt, or not a thick banded belt, you know what I'm talking about, the one that drops off the barkeep here. It's got pretty good AC, but I didn't wear it because I'd lose 2 strength and 2 stamina. Stamina is a little bit easier to calculate, you know, because it's just raw HP there. But strength is DPS, and DPS is kind of like, you know, the bottleneck here for how fast we hit 50. Yeah, the apron. Oh yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, I feel like a totally new character now that we got that level 30 undead nuke and we came to Unrest. It's nuts. I go in the basement, I just tear that place apart. Spindall, good morning, dude. Hope everyone here is having a good weekend. I guess we'll go to the least populated one and see if the basement's open. The biggest problem I have with that second part of the basement, you know, the one behind the hidden wall, is just that there are a lot of mobs back there that are not undead, like the terrors, the mushrooms, and I don't even know if there's any werebats back there, but they of course are the same. Like, I can't nuke them. So it just becomes like it's like a normal, very challenging mob. Good morning, Viral Ostrich. How's it going, dude? Uh-oh, fireplace looking for more. Fireplace is taken. Yikes. So we're about to soothe the one on the right, and then we'll pull the hag up and burn her down. Yeah, it helps not blowing all my plat, and also Unrest just drops a ton of valuable loot, and I can go sell it in the middle of that island right in Dagnor's. I'm telling you, man, paw keeps you poor. Oh, that sucks. Now we're in a DPS race. Too easy, dude. Look at this. He's got lull on, he just didn't care. Still taking some big hits there. This guy's 29, it's kind of on the higher end of their level scheme. I'm excited for it. We're gonna go, so whenever I get like super low on mana like this, or I'm totally depleted, I like to just retreat back to the zone line area and rest up there. Yeah, Lower Guck's gonna be good, man. I think Lower Guck is definitely a little bit more scary than this because the camps tend to be like very dense. And there's always the fact that like every single mob we'll fight has the potential to root me. Knots, it looks like, unless I'm hitting light blues, I'm getting at least 1%. If I'm hitting mobs that are like level 30, like one level below me, I get 2 or close to 2%, so it's really good. I am starting to get some light blues in the basement though. I'd like to stay here till 36. I don't know if that's like super viable though. Yeah. And you know, right now I'm in a position where I cannot completely clear the first room of the basement. Like I can't hold it all down simultaneously. So there's still room for us to grow in this camp for a few levels. Good morning, Pope. Glad to see you again. Mana is definitely a big thing right now. It's pretty mana intensive for me to keep my forward buffs up. For real, dude. So we've still got some really easy upgrades we can get. Like, I could spend a huge chunk of this plat to buy my new AUG tier, which will increase our DPS a bit. I've still never managed to completely max out my bind wound. We're 7 points away now. I'd be happy with 1 or 2 more skill ups this level. We'll see. I don't think I'll ever replace this as a two-hander, you know what I mean? But if I get a Ghoul Bane, which is, you know, admittedly going to be like 5 more levels from now, which is kind of a long time, I'll use that maybe primarily. Either way, it's going to be worth its price, I think, even just for 5 levels or so. We're going to have to parse it, you know what I mean? I don't know if the Ghoul Bane will actually be better DPS than the Deepwater Harpoon. Man, can Pallies use a Dark Reaver? No, Shadow Knight only, so Dark Reaver would have been it. I can't get Soulfire because of Lucan. So, dude, the next upgrade I could get over the Deepwater Harpoon, no joke, I think is a Myth two-hander from King. So like this is really my endgame weapon here for two-hand slash. Ghoulbane procs the nuke that I'm currently using, this 106 damage undead nuke. It's really not that bad though, Knots, because like the, you know, two-handers scale pretty well due to the damage bonus. Nah, once I get Ghoulbane, we'll probably go to lower Guck. Dude, specs are scary. They run super fast, they swing super fast, they proc a life tap and a stun. I'll try one just to see, but I expect Spectres would be a big problem for us. This is what we don't like to see, 2 werebats. Dusty werebat is always up there. It's that time. Everyone's waking up and starting to power level their 3rd and 4th characters. So let's try this. Easy. Z-axis taunt. Oh, is this guy's jumping on the mob I just pulled? Is he gonna train me, or did he just bail? Got him, boys. It's weird that he was willing to pick up my pool, but was not willing to DPS race all the way through. Maybe it just aggroed him. You know, maybe it just proximity aggroed him or something, and he engaged after it did. When I do that taunt trick, we really don't have a whole lot of threat generated, you know? He came up the stairs, I'll let him have that. Yeah, it could have been that. I'll assume good intentions. Guess we can go kill this Dusty Werebat. There's nothing else to grab. Yeah, those shrooms proc is slow, right? Yeah, I assume the shrooms are just kind of like a big pain that I don't want to deal with here. See, they have these mobs in here, like this, just to remind paladins like me that we are, in fact, still paladins. Slow down there, sir. You're a paladin. Dude, EQ was pretty brave with its art direction originally. Just like big heads on spikes. 1999. And there's like kids playing and stuff. Yeah, the Troll City too. Remember the Troll City had a dude, like a dwarf, just like strung up and like pulled different ways? I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, whoa. Better not let my mom walk in while I'm in this room. Yeah, the Troll City's gruesome. Sir, please stop. I should have made this character like roleplay too. The whole time we're playing it, I just roleplay a guard from Oblivion. Stop there, criminal scum. Yeah, they do use that in Jaina as well. Hey, typical Chad, we're like the same age. There go all my buffs. Oh, I got it, typical Chad. So you are 8 right now. I definitely think, you know, being a child is partially like a mental state. When I'm not in a professional atmosphere, I try to be pretty lighthearted still. Hey, that's good. What are you playing, typical Chad? There's just something about EQ that's really hard to put your finger on. I mean, maybe it's just the rose-colored glasses, right? The nostalgia. But I feel like there's a little bit more to it than that. Nostalgia definitely helps, but I think there is some kind of special quality to EQ that you just can't pin down. Hey man, when it comes to TLP servers, a lot of players are still children mentally as well. Not just at heart. Wait a second, chat. Look at this. Look at. This is Lord Nagafin's firepot. He's been here. What great mysteries. It's really weird that there's no named spawn here. Doesn't this look like a place where there should be a named, like there would be a PH here and then a named would occasionally spawn? Right on this tortured and dismembered torso. Okay. Doing the 3 box. That's a good combo. Honestly, I've never played a Beast Lord much. It's a class that I kind of want to investigate. It's just hard to hit the classes that start later in the timeline, you know what I mean? We got a pick zone. Go somewhere else. Yeah, I wish the EQ leveling experience on TLPs was generally a longer one. There's just something so crazy when you read the forums and everyone's like, yeah man, my character's like best in slot, -1 sky item, and my second character's 50, I've got all my epic pre-quests done, and it's like less than a month into the server. It just feels too fast. I've always felt with TLPs that like, now some people will lambast me a little bit for saying this because it's technically less content, but I think TLPs should launch without planes in them. Like when you kill Nagfin, Vox, and Finny, it shouldn't open the planes, it shouldn't open the hole. Because there's a huge segment of gear that is basically just invalidated and made pointless by the fact that the planes open up and you can farm a full suit of planes armor in like one day with very little issue. Some players still do the Temple of Soul role quests, but like really it's an optional thing. I don't think people know what best in slot really is. Like, there's no kind of best in slot, you know what I mean? You either got it or you don't. People just get to a point where their character's gear is good enough. They don't want to wait on that 30-man Crown of Ryle list when it drops once every 2 weeks. Yeah, Shadow Knights are a lot of fun. Very powerful right now too. Which server are you on, Chad? Dude, a TLP with Berserker and Beastlord at launch would be great. Just let the people be free. Are you talking about like group level content, Delta, or you talking about raids? Maybe I'm still just protected a little bit because I'm a lower level, but I really haven't run into DPS race scenarios very often. And to be totally honest, in all my years of playing EQ, I rarely run into it. Like last night, someone rolled up and kill stole me on the Undead Night of Unrest. Was I salty about it? Absolutely. It was like some level 40 cleric. But I just got over it, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't send him a tell, I didn't say a word. Just like, okay, see you next round. And that's like 1 of 2 times it's happened to me during this run. I know at lower levels you tend to see it less. And I'm probably a little bit protected from that kind of thing, because usually on TLP servers, I tend to be like on the other end of the power spectrum. Yeah, Defiant Gear is crazy stupid. I mean, I guess, you know, as a catch-up mechanic, I understand why they put it in. On live, the EQ world is simply too big. A new character, a new player, there's just too much. Like, it's not like it's overwhelming, like you could never figure out what to do, but there's so much depth to the EQ world, it would take you so long to experience all of it. Like, there's amazing new zones at lower level ranges that most players, especially TLP players, never experience either. Like, what's that Stonehive dungeon? The bee dungeon? Dude, that place is awesome. So if you're a new player, you start up on EQ and you grind 1 to 115 the max level and do like 30 KAs or whatever, you probably see like 10% of the game, maybe less. And it might not even be the good 10%, you know what I mean? I mean, is Gornet even that desirable of a Mobliok? That's crazy. Ah, I see. I have to lull 20 mobs in here. Probably don't need to lull this guy, but just to be safe. I'm not trying to play around when we're pulling a hag. Hey, Hirokiru, what's going on, dude? What's going on, Noob Cake, Big iTunes? How's it hanging? You gonna be playing today? Yo, these hags are no joke. Nice. So you liking Black Bro? Kunark launch would be great. I thought Luckland launch on Sella was some of the most fun I've had in EQ in a long time. There's so many dungeons that you really don't experience the proper way in a TLP setting because you've got multiple level 50 characters, tons of plat to twink, out of box or out of group, you know, people power leveling and stuff when you finally hit Kunark. It's really great to experience the low level Kunark dungeons, like totally fresh. Yeah, Bazaar is nice. EC Tunnel is cool aesthetically. Like, in my head, I really like the EC Tunnel. But as a video game player, I really enjoy the Bazaar. If that makes any sense. You guys probably get what I'm putting down. I do miss the old Bazaar. I think that was way cooler. It felt like you were in an actual Bazaar. Like, this series of concentric circles is really weird that the current Bazaar is. But I understand, like, the lag issue. We're definitely gonna have to sell before we level, I think. Oh yeah. We're like one item away from being encumbered even while we use Yelp. Yeah, I think you're right, Rect. The old bazaar would work with the reduced numbers. Dude, I remember trying to find a spot to post up your trader on the old bazaar. It was crazy. When Luckland first launched, I used to just walk through the bazaar for like hours trying to find cool deals and stuff. Yeah, Setford, we're going to use that merchant for sure. Going to represent our nice 117 swimming skill as we roll over there. Dude, this EXP is just flying compared to Pa. Hey, so Trank, when you used to go into the bazaar, remember it was like that big square room with all the stalls all around different aisles? And now the bazaar is like a series of tunnels connecting circular rooms, small circular rooms, where people line up against the wall. It's really weird because it doesn't look like anything any kind of human or real person would ever try to build. Whereas the original bazaar was exactly what you would make. I'm not even gonna call a CC. Someone said basement, but I'm like, here? I assume they mean the lower basement. We might get an ad with this guy, that one up in the left here. That'll be fine. Yep, just like we thought. Man, those interrupts are getting me. This last 2% is going to take forever because I don't want to use my nuke. Yeah, I would assume you mean the whole basement when you call BM, but obviously from the number of mobs we see up, we know that's not true. That's good, man. Just think clerics at this level do like more than double that damage. Was trivial loot code a real thing? You know, I've always heard the rumors, but I never looked into it too much. Oh, okay. And that was Verona Vi specific? So what I had originally heard was that Payneal was like a test bed for the trivial loot code, the newbie yard there. Oh, okay. That's funny, Knots. I like it. It's like just subtle enough that it doesn't freak me out when I hear it. Some of those audio triggers are like your morning alarm clock. They really get you going. Oh, that's funny. I can kind of see it now that I like, you know, I listen to it in the context of my dishwasher. So we'll do the IVU taunt. Dude, I also never knew I could do it. Chat told me about it. I used to always play a monk, you know what I mean? So I never had to bother with that kind of stuff. Man, that last song was a little too upbeat for my taste. I hate when I get on this like 69 right here. I could bind wound again technically, but my natural regen will bump me into 70 before the bind wound triggers, and it just won't do anything. Dude, I don't know. Do we even get triple attack during Classic? We might not. It might be like in the upper 50s. Little. This is the guy who KS'd me on the Undead Knight of Unrest last night. I ran in there, engaged him, took the harm touch. I had been clearing the camp for an hour. Oh, I forgot that I have to lull that stupid werebat. Then I ran in, engaged him, took the HT. I was nuking him. The cleric was like easily able to KS me, of course. Oh. Thanks for the train, Severa. Appreciate it. Alright, so now we have a little trick to take care of this werebat. I'm gonna root it here. I'll run to the zone line area, and he'll just leash. I assume he has socialed on that druid that was running into the basement with the monk. And then her group will kill that for me. Or he'll run out here and we'll just 1v1 him. I don't know that the 6C Cutlass would be worth getting. You mean the Deep 6 Cutlass? I guess for the EB it could be alright. Oh, it's charges. Yeesh. Yeah, the Ghoulbane is strictly better than the Deep 6 Cutlass. And that's my next goal weapon. BMC, this server is in Classic. We still have 2 more months of Classic before Kunark opens. No. So BMC, this is a solo self-found. I can only equip items that I craft or quest myself, or that I get from mobs that I solo on my own. So I definitely wouldn't even be able to have XRBP if Kunark was open, I don't think. Typical Chad, thanks for the follow, man. SSF Permadeath. Seems like a good time to go sell. Our buffs all just wore off and stuff. May as well go sell. BMC, are you a boatswain's mate, chief? Or does BMC stand for something else? Hey, I'm happy to have you guys along for the ride. You make it a lot less boring, Chad. Ah, okay. There's a lot of really cool names in Trakenon's Teeth. So I think 24 is the highest level these goblins can spawn at, unless I get like one of the named. So I should be pretty safe. I don't think a level 24 goblin can kill me at 31. Oh, our inventory is like full. Well, that's awkward. Jeez, look at all that plat. $280. I'm gonna need to drop about 140 on my new AUG, and the rest is gonna go into rubies, I think. Get that big IV hoop. Wrecked. Local lore. Dagnor's Cauldron. Okay. Dagnor's Cauldron. There's actually a lot of really good lore about this place. So Dagnor's Cauldron was actually the place where the first pact was made between the gods to keep Vishan's children in check. As you know, Vishan originally discovered Norath. She left her brood in Velius, clawed it, marking it as her own, and then took off. The other gods, worrying about her power, were brought there when Brel discovered this. So the gods that Brel invited were Tunair, Ralos Zek, and Prexis. They actually met here in Dagnor's Cauldron because at the time, Dagnor's Cauldron represented a place where all of their elements met. There was the water, there was the mountains, and very nearby was the forest. Rallis Zek attended but refused to take part in the agreement, so he stood off to the side. But anyway, they all agreed to make one race and leave it here to help, slow down the advance of the dragons. Then, many years later, the Kedge would eventually send Fingalotropos here to investigate a problem. I believe the problem was that souls of the dead Kedge were not being reincarnated, which is how the Kedge life cycle went. A Kedge would live, and then when it died, it would be reincarnated into a new Kedge. There was a finite number of, like a maximum cap on how many Kedge could exist at any one time, decreed by their god Praxis. So eventually this started to go wrong, and the Kedge were not reincarnating. So they sent Fingalotropos here to investigate why that was happening. He went into Kedge Keep and began his investigation. We're gonna have to pick out of here. So while he's in Kedge doing all this, the dwarves get wind of the fact that one of the Kedge has arrived. There was a time when the Kedge and the surface dwellers were on good terms, but that time has since passed. Just mutual misunderstandings and kind of distrust made things rocky between all the surface races and the Kedge. So Finny is in Kedge doing his thing, Kedge Keep, and the dwarves think that he represents the vanguard of an invasion force. So in order to stop the rest of the Kedge from arriving, they go out to the Dagnor's Cauldron, which used to be connected to the ocean, and they intentionally collapse the mountain range, forming the cauldron as we see it now, completely cut off. When they do this, Brel is angered by this, and the Dwarven King is killed in the collapse. And the Caladim, one of the ancient artifacts of Caladim, is also lost when he dies. So that's really how Dagnor's Cauldron was formed. Of course, what would go on to happen with the Kedge and everything else is its whole own story. And let's see, what race was first? I'm not sure I remember right off the top who, what the order of the races was. I believe High Elves were the first race created by Tunair. Ralos, he created a bunch of stuff, so it's hard to say which one came first. Probably the Ogres. And then Brel might have been the Dwarves, but it also might have been something else, because Brel made a ton of races. Brel kept inviting gods back for more and more packs, so but by the time it was done, Brel had like 6 races on Norath that worshipped him. So just like, since we're already talking about it, some of the races that worship and or were created by Brel include the dwarves, the gnomes, the gnolls, like Pa was definitely created by Brel, and even the goblins. If you go into Sol A and you look at the doors in Sol A, a lot of them have that big image of Brel on it, because the goblins of Solsec A worship Brel. Even though people think of goblins as a Rallis Zek kind of group, since they were part of the Relosian Empire and they were cursed along with the rest of Rallis's creations. Oh, there we go. I wasn't too far off. Thanks for adding the detail there, Liak. You guys ever stop and look at these little statues on either side of the entrance to Unrest? I suppose that's the priest of Quellius that created this area. I think this is the same pick we were in last time. It's alright, Sanina. You can walk past me. Oh, you're trying to KS. Yeah, we had bad luck with the werebat spawns. Hopefully someone else will pick those up. This guy's healthy for level 26. Hey Rect, Karen Toy is a quest item that you can get. Basically, you destroy a gnomish clockwork that kind of went rogue, I think, in Steamfont Mountains, and you bring back something that drops to Toxulia Forest and give it to one of the Karens there. And you'll get an item called a Karen Toy, which is +3 or +2 agility, 1 AC, something like that. Basically best in slot for me in Classic. Nods, thanks for the sub, dude. Really much appreciated. I'm glad that you are enjoying the content. We got that disarm fast. You know what would be really bad right now? If a hag spawned right here. Since I decided not to pull this mob away. How long you been there, Liak? Oh, come on. We're abandoning this one. There's got to be a better one. Dude, that's actually... That might be the longest Hasten Boot Shredder camp I've heard of. So if I come in and hand him a bunch of money while you're trying to do your turn in, there's a good chance, or there's like at least a small chance that I could accidentally intercept your Journeyman's boots when he finally spawns. I want to go up and look at that flag. I feel like nobody ever really looks at that. It just looks like two lions biting a planet. We need to zoom. Wow, he died to Petrifin? Yikes. Did he have a pet? Like a charm pet? Or was he walking around with the animation pet? Yeah, man, it's too late, right? Like, Petrifin probably hit him. Animation engaged, but couldn't pull aggro. He was stunned and just got chewed up. I imagine that's kind of how it went down. Gotta like charm a hill giant. Toss a few giants at it. Glad that someone grabbed this werebat. Doesn't bode well for this next room being spawned though. Yeah, those stones are nasty. You need to stay out of range of Petrifin. Like, if he's gonna hit you, he's gonna kill you. Unless you're in a group or something. Maybe a shaman. I might do the Deep Six Cutlass quest just for the fun of doing the quest. Let's go check on Undead Knight, see if that's open here. It looks like it's not open, if I had to guess. Saturday morning is definitely the morning to do quests instead of grind. Almost there, Noob Cake, almost there. Yeah, I wonder what they'll do with the next TLP. Hopefully they have some big lessons learned from this, but it's probably just wishful thinking on my end. I might be casual for life after this, I don't know. I might not be like a hardcore raider or anything on the next TLP. Those enchanter tiers on the forums were very nice. My most powerful class in the game during Classic is only slightly less powerful. How will I live? You know, why am I doing this? Just invis pull. P99 really has the formula done pretty well. The EXP is terribly slow, but you don't have a ton of people going on the forums talking about how slow it is and how they want to quit. When they did Finny, everyone was freaking out about the EXP rate. It's classic EQ, man. Just take your time. P99 also has the benefit of being free. Also, it's like a passion project, so the people who are responsible for it, for the most part, really care. Like, I don't know what people think Everquest is, but this, what we're doing right now, this is the game. Fast EXP just means less game. Yeah, green is awesome. Not crazy about this ad here. We could have to pop lay on hands here. that root to bind wound. $38, nice and open. Man, Wrath would be good if it wasn't going to be camped by a ton of people doing hill giants. Get to save lay on hands for another day. Ishibatari EQ, thank you for the follow. Alright, time to retreat to safety. The way in is barred. Halfling guards might be a little contested, but yeah, you could definitely do halfling guards. I'm not sure how the EXP would be, but you'd get rich. Yeah, I've always heard about shards, but I never played it myself. Is it, it's totally custom, right, Leok? You could do high keep guards. Oh, you know what, dude? Noob Cake, you could do specs. You're at like a really good level for specters right now. Either in South Row or Firat. You could also do Ocean of Tears, yeah. You can kite them around for days. Are they charmable? I mean, I've charmed them before. Who's this guy? Dimitri was in my 1 through 50 static. Kanos Aqueducts, yeah, is good as well, but there's not really space to kite them very well. They have the added bonus of dropping polished steel dirks there. Yeah, that's true. The zone line is right there. Is she pulling or running? You know, I'll just let that be. Dude, I think Fear Out would be good. You have infinite running space. Dude, how's the whole top row wear bats? What is this? Bat country? You saw that sweet parkour? I jumped over the fire pot. Congrats, Leok. Is that your first J-Boots on the server, or is that like for your box? Dimitri thinks this this place will be our death. Chat, what do we think? I've got a good feeling about Unrest. We've been handling it pretty well. Let's go meditate by the entrance though. Yeah, we're gonna have to redo all our buffs and stuff. It's gonna be a minute. Nice. It must have sucked running around with one character that had J-Boots and one that didn't. Ew, Spirit of Wolf potions. I like those 4-hour DBG store potions. Yeah, noob kick. I mean the specters in the tunnel. Just grab one and pull it out. So it should have taken us less than 5 kills to level up here. Yep. It's going to be fun. We're going to do that static group that we've been talking about, though it will be sort of sad to miss out on the bonus EXP on this character that levels really slowly. But it's just more time for us to enjoy this run. I actually don't want to use Spirit Armor. It costs too much mana. We're actually counting on it. Some of the group members don't want to stay up for like 40 plus hours. But the EXP bonus will make that static group be closer to like the 24 to 30 range, which is tolerable for most people. I bet you there's a queue on the 4th of July. Yeah, I mean, it took us 39 hours on launch, so then reduce that by 76. Or, you know, do the math on that. 76% bonus. But we'll be contested a lot more. All of our camps will be clogged up. It's so cool when you're doing it when the server first comes out and no one knows, like, you know, where your group's at. It's all secretive. Like, you're in Soleil and you've got, like, people in your guild telling you, like, yeah, dude, the highest characters anyone has seen on the server so far, like, level 18. But your group knows that you guys are level 26 in Soleil. That's always, like, the coolest part, that feeling of being under the radar. I forgot that this werebat sees through IVU. Oh well, may as well get rid of him. I was gonna go above that guy and taunt him up with the Z-axis so there was no chance of me getting hit. There is, like, you know, some risk if I just get tagged as soon as I taunt him when I'm on the ground floor, then the rest of the mobs on the ground floor will aggro me. Dude, you get on that, you know, you get in the rhythm and you just become like half brain dead. That is a good point, Leok. Unrest is lulling me into a false sense of security. That's what EQ does. You start making little mistakes, and then EQ just, like, starts rolling it downhill on you. See, the EQ Classic would have been like, if he aggroed after I taunted, and at that same time, the hag spawned in the middle, and she caught me with a root as I ran around the corner. That's the EQ Classic. All right, we said 5 kills, less than 5 kills, right? So let's see. Looks good. That is a really nice place for my EXP par to be. 96.999. We're doing big things, Keeps. We're gonna get some mana before we do this next pull. What is up, Thal? Thanks for stopping by, Thal. Chat, Thal was my cleric and enchanter in our static group on Eridu. Oh yeah. There's like nothing as consistently enjoyable in EQ as like a race to max level. Well, the 1 through 50 on Rizlona was faster than ours. Oh, wrong button. I don't know, Leok. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Hey guys, welcome to my camp. I'm down here. As you can see, I've been killing these things. That's why they're dead. Kind of on a time crunch here. I'm gonna do something really stupid and try to pull this before they do. Thal, the reason is actually even more simple than that. Oh. Woo. Right? Yeah, I should have worn it. So Thal, they used basically a potion exploit, I believe. It might be true of all potions, so for some chat members, this may be the first time you heard about this exploit, but at least with Corn Potions, it was true. Corn Potions and single target EXP potions stack. So you could use a 50% Corn Potion plus a 25% solo potion at the same time. Now the Q and being able to box and use macro quests are also all factors, I'm sure. Oh, big ding. There we go, boys. 32. Glad we didn't die on that pool. Typical chat, I picked Pally because I thought it would be one of the most challenging classes to do. Thal, it probably works with normal potions. Maybe. So you could probably take a bottle of Shared Adventure 1 and a bottle of Adventure 2, not shared, and these two would probably stack. It wasn't a purple, but it was like, we don't have room to go purple here because they'll just kill us. So now we can go sell. We'll buy our new spells. I gotta see what the spells even are. 31, we got like Reconstitution or something terrible. We'll buy our new AUG. What's up, Bobby? How's it going, dude? Dude, Thal, you should just test it right now. Did you get a bunch of them, Noob Cake? You gotta be real careful there. You'll figure out how to pull them. It's gonna take you a few tries, maybe. Alright, so does this mob for the Karen Toy Quest spawn in a static location, or am I going to have to like run all through Steamfont trying to find them? Oh, and Thal, by the way, I heard a rumor that the two groups that did that on Rizlona got suspended following the conclusion of their run. So I'm not, I'm not positive about that, but that's what I heard. And their time was 35 hours. Ours was 39. Oh man, we lived through another close one, chat. Feels good. I knew it was stupid to engage that hag so early, but I didn't. The hags are really good for me because I can burn them down pretty quickly. So I didn't want the group there that was moving in to snipe it. My guy Dimitri out here getting jumped. Okay, so I just need to be killing those low-level clockworks near the Minotaur caves. Should be pretty easy. I don't think there's any like high-level random stuff I need to worry about unless someone trains like Meldrath out of the tunnel. Dude, will the guards engage Minotaur Hero? Can I fight him to 50% and then train him? Man, maybe we could do the Minotaur hero right now, if Lay on Hands was up. Ogre models are only solid like partway through their chest, so if you ever have levitate, you can just walk up to an ogre and like sit entirely inside their body. Or you could jump through them like you're doing one of those races, hurdles. That guy Geshtar yesterday, he was pulling right through me. Like I was in that hallway doing what I did here in the basement, and he would just run all the way in, pull mobs right through my combat. I thought I was gonna die for sure. I was like, one of these times, one of these is just gonna social onto me instead. So we're starting to get a good number of light blues down there. I wonder if we will be able to run Unrest all the way to 36, or if it's just going to become like painfully slow, even with the Zem. Bobby, I think at level 36 I can kill Garnell, farm 2 rings and maybe some boots. Just getting to him and getting him solo will probably be a lot harder than killing him. Yeah, I just worry about that because there's a lot of those stalagmites, like the Dark Terrors or whatever they're called down there, and I don't think I can land undead nukes on them. So they're just kind of like this wall of difficulty. Ooh, this level we get Cancel Magic. That's kind of nice. Next level we get a new symbol. Nothing good at 34, 35. We get literally nothing because we're in Classic. And then 36, of course, our big heal. Right now I'm just going to buy the new Paladin spell. I figure this is the closest Paladin guild for me. I did not. What is the result, Bobby, of the Garden Ash quest? What? That was me. I put you onto that quest. So it just wasn't listed anywhere in Alla, but it was solvable. Man, that's awesome. How'd you figure it out? You just run around trying to hand it to people for a while? Man, you solved a new quest in Everquest, Bobby. That's insane. Does he talk about it? Does he say like, hey, give me Garden Ash's head? Ah, see, that's where I went wrong. I had never asked him about diseased bear livers before. That's really crazy. I thought for sure there was actually nothing to do with it, that it was completely incomplete. Rod of Ulceration. Was the item even documented in Alla? I see it is. So it wasn't a brand new discovery. It's called the Rod of Ulceration. Its item ID is 14049. Checked her, right? It wasn't on her. I'm just gonna have to go to the stupid Cleric's Guild instead. which was way closer, what I should have done in the first place. Oh, I never noticed that before. That's cool. Ah, okay, Cubes. Yeah, it definitely looks like the Mino Caves are the place to check. Thank you very much for that. I do need to sell while we're here. I wonder what these all say. Like, is there a translation or is it just random words or random characters? It looks like he's flipping somebody off. Dude, whatever this says must be really important because they wrote that everywhere. Well, that's a nice little texture. Finally. Hashpipe, why did I pick Air over P99 green? I don't know, well, a few reasons, I guess. I like that on Air the spell levels are more evenly aligned. Air is like that hot new server too. And I had just finished playing a character on Air so it was kind of like my natural choice. Also, for all their faults, I do prefer to support the actual game when I can. Is there not an augment vendor here? Chaos skills. SSF means solo self-found. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not for everyone. Same as P99. I enjoy both servers. I think they each have pros and cons, you know what I mean? But they're both a lot of fun to me. swear I saw the vendor we're looking for here one time when I was like doing crushbone belts. So Chaos Skills, if you look at the little blurb in chat, that kind of explains solo self-found. So this is a permadeath run, and I can't trade with players. I must solo 1 through 50. That's basically the gist of it. So everything I get, I quest, I craft, or I get from looting a mob that I soloed 1 through, you know, all the way up through 50. No, definitely the hardest class for SSF is Rogue, 100%. They got worse mitigation than, you know, many classes. Their hallmark ability is far harder to use in SSF. And they're very gear dependent, unlike a monk. Warrior would be challenging though. If I was going to do a warrior, I would definitely do a warrior on P99 instead of here. Like another big factor is you got to look at like what quests are available. Warriors have some good weapon quests available that make it a little bit easier than a rogue, I think. Like Bull Smasher is great, really great weapon. And then you graduate up to those 2 quests in Hallis area. You soloed a warrior to 50 in the first week Pacific payload. Link Seeks, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're just talking about solo 1 through 50. Yeah, Link 6 is good because you've got the 2 tiers of the quest. You know what I mean? You can get like the lower one, which is a little bit easier, and you might get lucky and get the 2-hand axe, which is awesome. Shadow Knight SSF I think would be pretty easy. Feign Death is going to help a lot. Their offensive capabilities are pretty formidable. They could do the Rage Maul or whatever it's called from the Bale List quest as like their end game weapon. They've got the ability to cast Invis on themselves, which is really powerful, especially when combined with the Invis taunt trick. Yeah, you'd have to do like strafe shenanigans to backstab. So P99 you can bind wound during combat, which I think is a pretty big factor. Easiest SSF, hands down, would be Necromancer. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that Rogue is the worst early on. They're the hardest early on. They're, you know, but any melee class is like super gear dependent, except for a monk, and it's going to be bad early on. Now that we're in the upper levels though, definitely being able to meditate and bind wound at the same time is incredibly helpful. The shield is so good. Oh man, into EQ. It's a scary thought. I don't even want to think about it. Proceeds to think about it. On the Vulak server in 2011, I put like 200 days played. All day, every day that I was awake, I was only playing EQ. And I would sleep next to my computer, and if a raid mob spawned, my guildmates would wake me up. So, and that's not even like the only guild I've done that was like that. So I've definitely put in an unhealthy amount of hours into EQ. I do. I have the original EQOA. I have my little internet module on the back of my PlayStation 2 still. I played it back in the day, but it was hard to get into EQOA when I already played EQ. You know what I mean? I would love to go back and try it. If the emulator project ever gets off the ground, you will find me on there. I will play it. Maybe I'll stream it. Yeah, I played in 1999, but I was a young idiot. I played North Kanos Quest. Nice. What guild were you in, Pacific? I was on the Nameless. That's pretty cool. Do you still play with Afterlife? I'm in the Afterlife guild Discord. They're still very active. Nice, dude. What would I play? It depends on what you're looking for, Epicurus. If you're looking just like for the heart and soul of EQ, like the solo and group content, grinding through old dungeons, I think P99 is a superior experience. It better emulates, no pun intended, the actual experience of 1999 EverQuest. But if you want to raid and you want to enjoy some quality of life features and you just want to kick back and have some fun, I think TLP is probably more newbie friendly. Especially if you want to raid. P99 is free though, so of course you could try both. Just do a few levels on each and see which one you're kind of feeling more. Hey, the Rud, I mean, Supa is an admin in the actual Afterlife Discord. I don't think he's lying about his credentials here. I have already verified. Chat, you can believe everything he says. His name is 2 names underneath Thought. Yeah, people don't realize, like, Afterlife still exists. They're still doing things in a bunch of other games. Yeah, there are definitely some inaccuracies on P99. Sometimes you'll see these really weird spawn mechanics on P99. It's hard to put my finger on them, but when you see them, you're like, yeah, that's just like a P99 thing, where they're trying to emulate a certain kind of rarity that Classic EQ maybe anecdotally had. Epicurus, per the rules, you are allowed one alternate character, like one alternate account, one box that you can run simultaneously. So I could like run a druid with my paladin here if I would like. It has to be on a separate computer though, which is called true boxing. Oh, that's another thing. Quest EXP is really good on P99. Quest EXP is extremely nerfed on Airdoom. You know what's always been really interesting to me? The old Uber guilds, like Legacy of Steel, Afterlife, FOH, of course, they cast such a long shadow on EQ. Like when people think about EQ, they still think about those guilds. If you ask most people what the best guild of all time in EQ is, you're probably going to hear one of those guilds or a small selection of other guilds that became well known later. And I mean, there's a lot of guilds like that, like Triton, Realm of Insanity. It's just crazy that those guilds from 1999 had a long shadow on EQ when you think about it that way, and a lot of those guilds stopped rating in EQ very early on in the total lifespan of EQ. You know what I mean? It's just the period, I guess, that people cared about most. Right, yeah. And we don't really have famous EQ players in the same way that we used to, right? Like there is no analog to Thought or Fur, those big name guilds like Tiggle, like all those well-known raiders and guild leaders. You just don't see the same kind of thing, I don't think, in EQ these days. I don't know if I agree with all of that Pacific payload, but I'm content for us to have different opinions on it. Yeah, there's definitely fewer penalties. But I mean, like P99, which does a much better job of emulating the initial difficulty and the risk versus reward, is also not producing guilds where people like remember them as well. I think it was probably just because it was the height of EQ's popularity, you know what I mean? And most people, when they think of their time playing EQ, they think back to that time when it was most popular, and they remember the people who were most well known as the best players, best guilds when they played in their own primes. Rect, I see your local lore request. Just give me a sec on that. What do you mean with P99 is too old now? A mountain brownie. Payload, you know that a fresh P99 server came out pretty recently? Like a couple months ago? Yeah, it's super contested, but I mean, that's to be expected, right? Classic EQ especially is not designed to have like 4,000 people. Oh yeah, I like it too. Difficulty in EQ has always been a weird thing. I feel comfortable saying that EQ in many regards is difficult, but it's hard to like demonstrate it, because like when you look at the early EQ eras, the ones that people consider difficult when they think back on it, I mean, you're really just like, can you count to 15? Can you count to 30? All right, you could dodge a Dragon AE. Like the raids just aren't hard in the same sense that like World of Warcraft raids or like more Twitch-based combat is. But for some reason, like if you talk to basically any EQ player, they'll agree that there is some challenge there somehow. I think risk versus reward is definitely a factor. But like the same guilds that I've seen do really high level live content, which is actually pretty challenging and pretty demanding on even like a Twitch kind of basis. I've seen those same guilds wipe on like Gornair with a huge overlap in the player base between the two raid forces. You know what I mean? And you're like, how does this happen? I didn't. I've basically played mostly EQ. I played EQ, Daok, Rift. Hey, thanks, Kettle One. Dude, Mitigation of the Mighty Gore is a beast. But the reality is, like, it's just kind of like a math equation, you know what I mean? Like, you walk up and you kill her or you don't. There's not, like, room for someone to be heroic, and there's not, like, a skill check where, like, if you miss standing in this AE kind of thing, everyone wipes. I mean, the big thing in raiding an EQ that was kind of fun was like contested raids, you know, watching raid forces make mistakes because they got pressured. You could always tell when a raid force is feeling the pressure. They move up too fast, they get in over their heads and they wipe, or maybe they pull it out, you know. Those moments are always a lot of fun as long as there's not too much bad blood, in which case it'll be fun later when you reflect on it, I guess, but in the moment sometimes it can be clouded. Alright, so I don't have a lot of really great lore information for Steamfont Mountains. Obviously we know that the gnomes are all about tinkering, right? And this is why they're able to craft all this kind of stuff. But I can tell you something that was supposed to be in the game but didn't make it in originally related to this area. So you see we have these Minotaur caves here, and in there we have Meldrath. Now later, much later in the life cycle of EQ, we get a Fortress Mechanicus, right? Which is like a dungeon for Meldrath. It's like a raid expedition. But originally, in 1998, when they were doing the designs that would become Everquest, there was a dungeon here, a low-level dungeon that was kind of in like the unrest level range. It was supposed to have 9 floors, and it was going to be a Meldrath dungeon. He was like the Emperor Crush, you know what I mean, or the Garanol Ruxif of that dungeon. The designs still exist. They are fully mapped and out there. You could see them if they were ever published. Complete with a description for every single room, a lore background for every little bit, and some intended mob listings. And it was more or less supposed to be right over in this area. But for whatever reason, perhaps budgetary or time constraints, it is one of the many things in EQ that simply never got finished. Uh-oh, Leok, time is ticking. I think I'm doing this right. Just kill anything that is mechanical, and eventually we'll spawn the contraption. Dude, I'm thinking about like one day I want to make an emulated server where I just go through and I finish everything. All the things that were supposed to be in, just throw them in. Itemize zones that were improperly itemized, like East Karana. Advertise it as EQ complete. Bobby Vic, I am doing the Karen doll right now. That's what I'm trying to do. Am I doing it wrong? I didn't even stop to like look up the quest. She had 9 floors, can you imagine? I suppose he could just be up somewhere else in the zone, right? And in which case he would not spawn. I mean, I suppose there could be more than one Nils up. That's the end goal, basically. Like, if we, you know, we finally become fulfilled in playing these TLP servers and P99 and everything, we've done everything there is to do, then, and no one else in the community has already done it, Darkpaw has failed to produce it, we'll go ahead and make an emulator. Wow, this skeleton stunned me. We'll go ahead and make an emulator of our own, and we'll do like an EQ complete. That's a lot of hours, Leok. How many days does that come out to? Yeah, like an alternate timeline. That'd be cool. Like, could they make new EQ expansions after Valius that went a different direction and somehow maintained the spirit of original EQ better than subsequent expansions did? 290 days played. You're telling me you're how old and you haven't even managed to dedicate one of those many years to EverQuest? That's sad. You need to up those numbers. Yeah, that'd be cool, Bobby. That'd be really cool. Rehire Bill Trost, bring him back in. But I don't think the devs, even if they had the funding, I don't think that that's what they want to do. I think there's some small chance that they might enjoy the content that they're putting out right now, and like that is their preference. I know, right? How disgusting. Yeah, they'll never have the manpower to do it, unfortunately. I'm trying to get the contraption to spawn so that I can get the Karen toy. Yeah, I agree with you, Rect. If it's like a total revamp, it's like far worse. I'm not too worried about the hero. If he spawns and aggroes me, I'm sure someone will just warp over and kill it really fast. Yeah, OG Lava Storm would be really cool to play in. Bobby, are you streaming today? I'm not sure what booming. Maybe it's just the background music. Oh, dude, yeah, I keep the sound off when I'm in there. I don't even notice it anymore. I used to have really bad lag issues when I was in Lava Storm. Like, as soon as I looked up from the ground, if I was in Lava Storm, it would become a slideshow. I had to mess around with some settings to fix it. Ah, the lava exploding. Dude, I was watching a VOD of a streamer the other day, Lobos Jr., and he was playing some random game, and his dog like ran up and jumped on him. It jumped like right on the microphone, and I think I was temporarily deaf. It was funny reading the chat. Everyone was just like, my ears. So it looks like the all the contraptions over here share spawns with like non-mechanical stuff, so I just gotta kill everything. Because you guys have noticed, I'm sure, that as we killed all the mechanical things, we now have like no mechanical things respawning. It's just random other crap. Turn those rat ears in later. I see one. A rebel clockwork. Alright guys, I know today was a short one. We had some good progress. We made a level. We're out here in Steam Font. We'll see if maybe next time we can get this item we need. I'll be back on tomorrow, early again. So look for me at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll start it up. Tomorrow will probably be another relatively short stream. I try not to go too long on the weekends. But with that said, if you've enjoyed it, please follow for more very fun, very edge of your seat sometimes SSF Permadeath Paladin runs. For now, we're going to go raid, I guess, Pantheist Heathen. Alright, last call for people to get in on this raid. Here we go.
Zaide God, what's up, dude? How are you, man? Hello, hello, hello.